Throughout history, crime has been committed, and most of the time the guilty are punished. However, in some cases where there isn't clear evidence, the police and the judicial system convict the innocent. Sometimes these convictions truly are horrible mistakes, and other times they may stem from systematic biases, flawed investigations, or political pressures leading to miscarriage of justice that perpetuate inequality and erode trust in the legal system. Today, we will look at 3 cases that depict these injustices. Viewers' discretion is advised. George Stinney Jr. was the youngest person sentenced to death in the United States. He was executed by electric chair at the age of 14 in 1944. Despite claiming innocence, he was accused of killing 2 white girls, 11-year-old Betty and 7-year-old Mary. Their bodies were found near the house where the boy resided with his parents. At that time, all the jurors were white. The trial was brief and the sentence was handed down quickly. Stinney spent 81 days in prison, without his parents or lawyers. He was electrocuted with 5,380 volts in the head. His innocence was proven 70 years later, and the case inspired Stephen King to write The Green Mile. Emmett Louis Till, an African-American boy, was abducted, tortured, and lynched in Mississippi at the age of 14. He was accused of offending a white woman, Carolyn Bryant, in her family's grocery store. After the encounter, Bryant's husband Roy and his half-brother J.W. Millam abducted Till, beat and mutilated him, and shot him in the head. Till's body was found in the Tallahatchie River, and his mother held a public funeral service with an open casket. The event exposed the brutality of lynching and the limitations of American democracy. An all-white jury found Bryant and Millam not guilty of Till's murder, and they publicly admitted to the crime. Till's murder was seen as a catalyst for the civil rights movement, leading to the Montgomery bus boycott and the US Supreme Court ruling that segregated buses were unconstitutional. An Emmett Till Memorial Commission was established in 2006, and the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act was signed into law in 2022. In 1983, Carlos DeLuna, a 20-year-old, witnessed Carlos Hernandez struggling with Wanda Lopez at a gas station in Corpus Christi, Texas. He fled the scene and was arrested 40 minutes later. Throughout his trial, conviction, imprisonment, and execution, DeLuna maintained his innocence and claimed that Hernandez was the real killer. However, the police refused to believe him, and Carlos Hernandez, who looked remarkably similar to DeLuna, was never found. In 1991, Professor James Liebman researched the fallibility of the death penalty and hired a private investigator to find Carlos Hernandez. He discovered that he had a long, violent criminal record and carried a knife identical to the one that killed Wanda Lopez. In 2012, a book published by Liebman and his students revealed a poorly handled case that never gave Carlos DeLuna a chance. Despite his death in prison in 1999, police continue to insist on DeLuna as the killer, and no posthumous pardon has been made.